My name is Jennifer Cole and I'm 33 years old. 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, my mother called. Her voice was careful, polished like a script. You won't be joining us this year, she said. Your sister's boyfriend comes from a very prestigious family. It wouldn't look right with you there. I asked what she meant. She sighed. You're a kindergarten teacher, Jennifer. A sweet job, but you understand. That pause told me everything. My work, my pride, had become their shame. Melanie needed to make the right impression. What they didn't know, what none of them knew, was the truth about who I really am. 5 days after that dinner, they showed up at my door, pale, rattled, demanding answers. Because Nathan had discovered something that changed everything, and my sister's perfect world was about to collapse in front of 500 witnesses. Before we begin, please like and subscribe, but only if this story hits home. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. If you've ever been the disappointment in your own family, this one's for you. Everything began with that phone call 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. I've been teaching kindergarten for 8 years in Brookdale. My one-bedroom apartment takes up half my paycheck, but it's home, and every hug from my 25 5-year-olds feels worth more than any bonus check could ever buy. My sister Melanie would never agree. She lives in a penthouse in Ridgeview City, a place where her monthly rent is higher than my salary for 3 years combined. As a marketing director for a luxury lifestyle brand, she collects Leon and Cum handbags the way I collect my students' finger paintings. Her Cartier Verve watch, her small bonus, as she calls it, costs more than my car. On my mother's social media, every post is about Melanie. My daughter just sealed another $1 million deal. So proud of Melanie's keynote presentation. In the last 5 years, I've appeared in exactly 3 photos, always in the background. Jennifer's smart, my mother tells her friends, but she lacks ambition. In our family, the hierarchy was set early. Melanie got the master bedroom in our childhood home. I got the attic. Her awards are hung in the most prominent place. Mine were tucked away in a drawer no one ever opened. We don't want her to feel bad, my father would whisper, sliding my honor certificates out of sight whenever Melanie brought home something less than perfect. That was the rhythm of our family, hide my light so hers could shine. But I had a secret one I had kept for 2 years, ever since Eleanor Whitmore passed away. She was more of a mother to me than my own ever tried to be. In her final months, I held her hand through every hospital visit while Melanie was too busy to come by. Everyone thought Eleanor was just a retired bookkeeper living off a modest pension. No one knew about the papers in my safe. No one knew about the empire she had quietly built in the shadows, or why she had chosen me to protect it. Then one October evening, during our family's Zoom call, Melanie announced, his name is Nathan Reed. He's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, the kind of man who changes the world. My mother nearly screamed with delight. Reed, as in Reed Foundation? Melanie nodded, glowing, tilting her laptop so we could see more of her penthouse behind her. We met at a crystal showcase, she said. He told me I have impeccable taste. I nearly choked on my tea. Nathan Reed, of course I knew that name, but I kept my expression calm, the polite smile of a kindergarten teacher fixed on my face. He must be very successful, I said softly. And that was the night I realized my sister's engagement would be the beginning of her unraveling. If you are still listening, please leave a comment and press 1 so I can continue the story. Melanie was practically glowing through the screen, her tone dripping with pride, her words rehearsed to perfection. Nathan manages hundreds of millions through his foundation, she said, that delicate little chime in her voice, the one she'd perfected at her finishing school in Switzerland. His family's money builds hospitals, she added. I watched my parents lean closer to their cameras, eyes wide with the kind of hunger they didn't even try to hide. You could almost see the dreams behind their smiles, the lavish wedding at the plaza, the private school grandchildren, the Cole name whispered among the city's elite. When do we get to meet him? My mother asked breathlessly. Thanksgiving, Melanie said. I want everything to be perfect, the house, the dinner. Then she hesitated, her eyes flicked toward me on the screen. The guest list, she murmured. I knew that look. I'd seen it 1,000 times before, the one that said I'm the problem that needs fixing. My thoughts drifted to Eleanor Whitmore. Those long afternoons at Maplewood Residence, the care home where she spent her last 2 years by choice, not necessity. People show you who they really are when they think you have nothing, she once told me, her weathered hands still graceful as she signed the papers I'd helped her review. Remember that, Jennifer. Especially with family. She was right about so many things, about silence, about letting people underestimate you, about the quiet power of patience. What I didn't know then was how soon I'd need all 3, and that Nathan Reed, the man my sister was so desperate to impress, would soon become the key to everything that was about to happen. Eleanor Whitmore understood me in ways my parents never even tried to. While they bragged about Melanie's MBA, Eleanor would sit with me in her modest room at Maplewood Residence, pouring tea into chipped porcelain cups and teaching me about compound interest and charitable tax law. Your sister collects handbags, she'd say, glancing at Melanie's latest luxury post on her phone. You collect hearts, Jennifer. Tell me, which one do you think lasts longer? I used to laugh, thinking she was just being kind, but she wasn't joking. Eleanor had built an empire quietly, anonymously. No one knew the Whitmore Foundation even existed, let alone that it managed over $40 million in assets. She had started with nothing, a widowed mother of two working 3 jobs at 30. By 70, she had secretly funded scholarships, food banks, and teacher support programs across Brookdale and beyond. Melanie had visited her once that year. Eleanor even made a note of it, 12 minutes, and by the 10th she'd already asked about the will. I, on the other hand, was there every Sunday for 2 years, not for money. I didn't even know it existed. I went because she was the only family who ever truly saw me. The documents are with Henderson and Kami, Eleanor told me 1 month before she passed. Her voice was still strong even as the cancer spread. Everything has been arranged, she said. Remember, Jennifer, money amplifies character, it doesn't create it. I thought she was talking about a few thousand, maybe her jewelry. I had signed the papers as her healthcare proxy, thinking I was just helping with medical decisions. 2 weeks after her funeral, I received a call from James Henderson himself. That's when I learned about the foundation, the board position, and the conditions attached to every cent of the Whitmore inheritance. Your grandmother was very specific, he told me, sliding the mahogany folder across the table. She believed in testing character when people don't realize they're being tested. I kept it all secret for 2 years, watching, waiting, quietly observing, until finally the test was about to begin. The call came on November 3rd, 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. My phone lit up with my mother's name, her and Melanie calling from their weekend in Rose Hill Bay. Jennifer, about Thanksgiving, she began, skipping any greeting. We had to make a few adjustments. I set my peanut butter sandwich down. Adjustments, you won't be joining us this year. Outside my classroom window, the playground rang with laughter. I focused on their joy while my mother explained the reason I'd just been disinvited. Nathan comes from a very distinguished family, my mother continued. Melanie needs to make the right impression. She paused, gathering her courage before delivering the cruelty. Your job might give people the wrong idea about where our family stands. My job, teaching children how to read, how to be kind, you understand what I mean, she said quickly. It's labor work. Nathan moves among CEOs, investors, important people. What would you even talk about, Jennifer? Finger painting. I could hear my father in the background clearing his throat, silent, complicit. Is this Melanie's request or yours, Mom? I asked. Does it matter? She snapped. We all want what's best for her future. This could change everything for our family. I could hear Melanie's laughter behind her, sharp, unbothered, not even pretending to hide. Just so we're clear, I said, my teacher's voice calm and steady, you're uninviting me from Thanksgiving because my career embarrasses my sister. Oh, don't be dramatic, my mother replied. It's just dinner. Next year will be different once they're engaged. I understand, I said, and I did. She sounded almost surprised, maybe even disappointed that I didn't beg. I wish you all the best. I hung up before she could say another word. My hands didn't even shake. Eleanor had taught me that too, never let them see you bleed. Seconds later, my phone buzzed, a message from Melanie. It's nothing personal, you understand, right? This is my chance at real happiness. I didn't reply. Instead, I went to my safe and pulled out a folder labeled Eleanor Whitmore Foundation Inheritance Protocol. Inside was a small yellow note, her handwriting neat and deliberate. When people show you who they are, believe them. An hour later, my phone rang again. Melanie, look, Jennifer, she began, her voice dripping with that syrupy concern that always preceded an insult. Be realistic. You make $40,000 a year teaching kids to tie their shoes. Nathan's watch costs more than that. I'm aware of the income gap, I said softly. Do you even understand what that world is like? She continued. The world I'm about to enter, it's all about connections, influence, power. What do you bring to the table, Jennifer? Adorable stories about finger painting. I let her talk. Sometimes silence is the best lesson plan. His circle includes Fortune 500 CEOs, ambassadors, senators, and you'd show up in your Target dress talking about lesson plans and parent-teacher meetings. Can you imagine how that would make me look? I nodded to myself. You're right, I said quietly. I don't belong in that world. A pause. She finally sounded satisfied, as if I'd learned the lesson she'd been dying to teach. It's not forever, she added quickly. Once Nathan and I are married, once I'm established, maybe we can ease you in. Small dinners first. I'll coach you what to say, what to wear. How generous. I'm trying to help you, Jennifer. This is my chance at real happiness, real success. Don't you want that for me? I do, I said. Then stay away from Thanksgiving, she warned. And Jennifer, don't even think about showing up. I'll have security escort you out if I have to. The threat hung between us, cold and final. My baby sister, the one I used to walk to school, the one who once cried in my arms over her first heartbreak, had just threatened to have me removed from our own family dinner. Got it, I said, enjoy your meal. After she hung up, I opened my laptop and logged into the Whitmore Foundation board portal. There it was, already marked on the calendar. Annual Charity Gala, November 29th, 3 days after Thanksgiving. 500 guests, full media coverage, perfect. That night, I opened my safe and spread everything across my kitchen table: the will, the board appointment letters, the stock certificates, every document sealed, notarized, undeniable. Eleanor's will was a masterpiece of foresight. The family inheritance totaled $15 million in 3 properties, but came with one unbreakable condition. Each beneficiary must demonstrate consistent kindness and reject discrimination of any form, especially based on social or economic status. Section 7.3 caught my eye. Any deliberate exclusion of a family member due to their profession, income, or social class would result in the immediate forfeiture of all inheritance rights. Eleanor had even included examples, including denying a family invitation out of embarrassment over one's honest profession. My phone buzzed, an email from James Henderson. Miss Cole, kindly confirm your attendance for the gala. The board looks forward to formally introducing you. I typed back one sentence, I'll be there. Please ensure the media coverage includes the foundation's origin story. His reply came quickly, of course. Your grandmother's video message will play immediately after your introduction. The video message, I'd almost forgotten. Eleanor had recorded it 6 months before she passed. I pulled up the foundation's website, scrolling to the board of directors page. My name was there, Jennifer Cole, chairwoman of the board, appointed by founder Eleanor Whitmore, 2023. My photo was absent at my own request. I stared at the screen, knowing that once Nathan Reed did his due diligence, he would know exactly who I was if he hadn't already. For a brief moment, I thought about calling Meline about warning her. Then I remembered her words, don't even think about showing up. Fine, I wouldn't show up to Thanksgiving, but the gala, that was business.